Good evening. We're going to call the January 14th meeting to order. Mr. Valentine's going to lead us in prayer, followed by the pledge.
Yet, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much, Lord, for our health. Lord, we thank you for family and friends, Lord. We ask your guidance tonight, Lord, as we look at parish business, Lord, and make decisions. Hopefully, Lord, that we make the right decisions. Lord, give us wisdom. And, Lord, most of all, give us grace. We ask all these things in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's have the letter be known that all members are present. Public comment section. Anyone wanting to speak on the agenda item, please sign in with the speaker card, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak when that agenda item comes up. We'll move on to two-thirds. Anyone have any two-thirds to put on the agenda tonight? No two-thirds. We'll move on to number 4, acceptance of minutes of December 3rd, 2007.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Valentine, second by Mr. Pat Bell. Any discussion? Any objection? So moved. Number 5, we're going to go ahead and move into election of officers, which we do annually. I'm going to open up the floor now for chairmanship.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Randy Kluwat as chairman.
I got a motion on the floor by Mr. Chris Lohr for Randy Kluwat as chairman.
Second.
A second. Any more nominees? Okay, Mr. Kluwat will be by acclamation you chairman. Before I step down, I'd like to thank Bill Rue, Laverne Lear, and Heather, and also Alan Allred, Ron Savoy, Mike Dubrock, Thad Denham, Davin Duplessis, Wardell Urban, Darrell Jackson, Darren Martin, and Barrett Smiley. Y'all made my job a whole lot easier as a chairman. Y'all work with me super. I just want to commend y'all on the work y'all have done. It made my job as a chairman so much easier, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Once more, Mr. Lambert, we appreciate your service.
Yes, sir.
We move on to agenda item number 6. Before we move on to agenda item number 6, we'll move to nomination of vice chair. We'll leave the floor open.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
Nomination by Mr. Cullen. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bell. Do we have any more nominations?
Move by acclamation.
Move by acclamation.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank the Drainage Board. Appreciate all the hard work from the past. We'll continue on.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. We'll move on to agenda item number 6. DADW Annual Report, Drainage Commission. Mr. Rue.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, again, congratulations on your election. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. I think we have done a lot in the last year, and I'm looking forward to doing even more this year. We have a presentation. It's actually a PowerPoint, and this is something that is obligated by contract. We must present to the Drainage Commission what we have done the preceding year for its accomplishment of goals, and what we plan on doing, or what is our recommendation for the goals for 2008. 2007 accomplishments. Parish management to drainage management. Again, this is something that was voted on by the Commission, and they gave a task to me and to our department to make the transition. We did make a successful transmission as directed by the Commission from parish government management to drainage management. We had successful separation of assets, successful separation of personnel, and in doing so, we had discovered at least $2 million of annual drainage funds that were used to supplement parish functions. And this, in the course of the separation, came to light. We also met with the commissioners and the committee of this commission and identified the major concerns. We then formulated a plan, a 5-year and a 10-year capital improvement project plan to solve these concerns. The commission chose as their concerns additional pumps at Marvin Brook Pumping Station, levee floodgates, pumps for Henderson Bayou Basin, extension of the Law Ridge Levee, upgrade of the present Law Ridge Levee, the Spanish Lake Flood Basin protection, Amite River backwater flood protection, Panama and Conway Bayou Basins drainage upgrades, and Muddy Creek Basin drainage upgrade and flood protection. Again, this was chosen by the Commission as their priorities for the major capital plan for improvements over the next 5 and 10 years. To get this started, we requested from the Commission what was their, how would they like to get the things funded, and they chose to go after bond money to do so. We funds dedicated to the Commission requested and authorized capital improvement projects came to approximately $60 million. Actually, a little bit over the $60 million we have funded through bonds. And there's actually borrowed money, but borrowed money is based on the sale of bonds. We also came up with a financial plan. We formulated a 5- and a 10-year capital improvement project financial model and schedule. One thing that the model did immediately was show that we were able to fund, to pay for the bonds, pay our debt service for the next 20 years and even 40 years if necessary, with a fund balance after every year of enough to sustain us not only in having a required fund balance, but also be able to pull some of this money over to unfunded projects. It also tracks the accuracy of revenue and expenditure estimates. We use this as model to track year after year to make sure that we're on track and that we continually have the funds in the next 4 to 5 to 6 years even to assure that we can do our routine maintenance, in-house projects, and also these capital projects. This is the financial model that we use, and again, it's fairly massive, but we have this stretching out to the year 2016 or 2017. Every year we're going to add another year to it, so we constantly have a 10-year and a 5-year plan. And again, it identifies our revenue coming in, expenditures going out, debt service, project estimates, and we, year after year, we'll plug in the actuals to this model and let it reformulate the next 5 and 10 years so we make sure that we're on track. We formulated a schedule and a plan to complete major portions of the capital projects per the accepted plan within 5 years. Now, we're committed to doing everything that we bonded the money for, the major project that's on the books. We're committed to do that within 5 years. 2011, we should have Henderson Bayou online sometime in 2011. Pumps and pump station also have 2 more additional pumps at McElroy Pumping Station online and ready to go prior to 2011 for the McElroy Pumping Station. Major drainage tax for major drainage work. We formulated a major drainage channel improvement plan. We organized a major channel improvement department within drainage works to do only major channel improvements. We formulated and initiated a formal method of scheduling and tracking capital and major drainage channel improvements. This is the first time we're doing this within the drainage district. And what we're doing is we're actually using the major drainage money to do major drainage work. We bought the equipment, we had the department manned to do the work, and we're going to get into some examples in a minute. This is some of the work we're doing in the major drainage work. This is Henderson Canal, or Burak Ditch rather. And it shows you the upper portions of it, show you what it looked like before, lower portion what it looks like after we do some improvements. This is Bayou North Seas. It says on here Buret, but it's actually Bayou North Seas behind the old skating rink. And again, you can see major improvements to that channel. Buret Ditch, lower end of it. This is Bayou North Seas looking north from Highway 74. Enormous improvement. This is also looking at the same bayou, but it's looking toward Highway 74. In addition to the improvements to the channel, we have a major improvement to the pipe, the crossing, and this is a joint venture between Public Works and Drainage Works to enlarge the crossing with these aluminum box covers. This is looking right down from Parish Road toward 61, and that's part of Bayou Francois. This gives you an example of what's coming out just that 1 second. That's not everything. We have some spoil on the other side. But this gives you this example of what's coming out of there. You can equate that to every time you get a cubic yard of fill out of that bayou, you're giving space for water. So again, this is an enormous benefit that we're providing to these drainage channels. And again, too, all of the spoil is being removed. After it dries, we remove everything off the ditch bank. This is Black Bayou, about the 1/3 up from Black Bayou Road, Black Bayou Canal. This is Bayou North Seas looking down from Church Point Road. Major improvements. Right here, and what we've been looking at in the last few slides were what the major drainage works were doing, what the major channel improvements were being done. This gives you an example of what regular drainage is doing. Now, a lot of times, regular drainage is a lot harder to do than your major projects. You're doing with tight quarters. A lot of times, there's utility lines and buildings in the way where you have to work around. This is actually Philippi Ditch, where we're working with the town. We're improving it and doing the prep work. They're coming back and lining it with concrete. We're doing a lot of that within the town limits. This is something else that regular drainage does. We're going back and upgrading all our crossings on roads with large box covers. We're eliminating piping because of the problems that they cause most of the time. You have to put multiple pipes in to give the same drainage efficiency as these box covers. Some of the major channel improvement statistics. Last year we did a total of 10.5 miles. Took 1 year to do it. Cost $1.03 million. And we're still working on some figures for percent increase in capacity. Estimated cubic yard removed, 460,000. The ratio of cubic yard, cost of cubic yard is $2.24 per cubic yard, and that includes everything. And generally right now, you can't get a pond dug for that amount of money. And we're doing everything plus securing the right-of-way and removing the spoil. Tremendous amount of work. Downstream channel improvements comparison. What I don't have here, and I thought I would have it by the meeting time, was what was done when we contracted a lot of this work down on the lower ends of Black Bayou and Bayou Francois. That was all contracted out. It's a lot bigger, but we want to equate it down to the cost per cubic yard to give a comparison. As soon as I get that information, I'm going to send it to you so you look at and see the major difference, the way we're doing it now and the way it was done in the past. Regular drainage statistics, ditch improvements. We had a total work orders entered at 375, completed 197 of those. We control 805 miles of cutting and 400 miles of spraying. We successfully organized drainage work into an efficient organization without additional management personnel. We took what we had and we made the organization around what we had. We have 4 major sections of our department: engineering survey, major channel improvements, which is brand new, something we never had before, regular drainage work, which is work orders, and capital projects, which is new. That's our multi-year plan. And right now, I'd like to introduce the commissioners and the public to the people that's actually my staff that is head over these departments. We have C.J. Godin, which is the district engineer. He's head over the engineering department and also works with Lynn on the surveying. Barry Smiley, that's our major channel improvements manager. Alan Allred is work orders and regular drainage, and grass cutting and weed control and a lot of other things. Lynn Savoy is surveying. Laverne Lear is the secretary to the commission and keeper of records for the commission, and also my assistant. And Heather Clifton.
She's on that side.
Yep, Heather is the recording secretary and also secretary to East Ascension Drainage Works. So that is my staff, and that's the people. If you need any help, any advice, turn in work orders, these are the people you'll be talking to, and they're ready to assist you at all times. So go to the next. We also formulated operations policy and procedure manual. We identified the controversial work order requests. We always have in these gray areas within drainage works and public works too. So you're not quite sure what was done in the past, was it the right thing to do or not. And what we did was formulate a policy and procedure manual and identify a controversial work order request. It presents a clear and precise procedure for handling those requests. And we had that formally adopted by the commission. And you have a copy of that book, and we continually add to it. We actually going to request something tonight. We organized the Drainage Commission meeting agenda procedure. You noticed tonight, and we saw this several months ago. It explains the reason for the agenda item. It presents the form of motion requested. It is given to commissioners days prior to the meeting for your review, and it helps make the meeting more efficient and professional. And again, this is for your information. You have a lot on your plate, and the more you have of understanding what's coming up in the meeting, I think the better it is. Other projects and services. Core stations, that's the continuous operating receiving stations, and that is for our survey. We have 3 of them. We should have that in operation. 3 towers. They'll be located on school houses, school buildings at 3 places throughout the parish to get a good reception, and that should be up and running within 3 or 4 weeks. And that's mainly for surveying, elevation check, and it also can be used by surveyors, in their work in surveying. A cover for the Marvin Bro pumping station, and also amphibious motion machine. This is our pumping station, and what we plan on doing, we have it being designed right now, is actually a cover to go over the whole station. The reason for that is twofold. One is to give protection to our employees during a rain event or major flood event, so they're out of the elements. The second thing is to protect our equipment. Those yellow buildings are a metal building is starting to deteriorate, so instead of changing them out, we're going to put a cover over everything so our people have a place to work in safe conditions. We also going to have a place in there for the person taking care of the pumping station to live while he's out at that site. This is our motion machine. This is something we purchased this year. Right now it's being upgraded. It has been used in about 2 months. We should have coming this week to start the upgrade of this machine. This is an example of Heath Bayou, or a portion of Heath Bayou that prior to the mulching. This is what it looked like after. So again, it provides a major a piece of equipment for our drainage works to be able to get in there, clean out these drainage areas. Very efficient and very cost effective. Goals for 2008. Capital improvement projects. First thing we have to do, and I have it on the next agenda item, is that we need to review the capital projects that get accepted by the previous commission. We need to work with the present commission to reauthorize and accept a 5-year and a 10-year capital improvement project plan. We need to reaffirm the funding for whatever that plan may be. We also intend on, and we do this on all our projects, both in-house and contract out, we provide formal Gantt chart schedule of all capital projects so we can track it and be a way of following the progress of these projects. Upgrade the capital project financial model to reflect any amendments to the plan and track financial information. I'll be honest with you, commissioners, that we've heard stories of some people for the plan, some people against the plan, some people for parts of the plan, some people against parts of the plan. It's very, very important that we move together on a plan. This is the plan that was accepted by the commission last year and what we got started on bonded money for. But we need to move forward with what you want to do because we cannot pause, we can't take any steps back if we can meet our goals. Remain on schedule, major channel improvements. Follow adopted schedule to track progress, quarterly reports. We do have a formal method of scheduling these major channel improvements, and right now I actually can tell you if you had something in Ball Bayou or Smith Bayou, whatever, you want to know when we're going to be in that area doing that work, I can give you a day we expect it to start and a day we expect it to finish. And that goes all the way through the year, at least 2009, 2010. And we're following that schedule. We're on schedule right now, totally. We're behind on one bayou because of legal issues, but we made it up, or we're ahead of schedule on a couple others. As a whole, we're on schedule. And we intend on staying on schedule. Work with Parish Administration to evaluate the present wage and position schedule. What we want to do is meet with the Parish Administration and revamp the page and wage schedule for both DPW and drainage works for Parish, at least for our employees. Now, I'm sure they're going to redo it for everybody, maybe, but we have to do something with our wage schedule because we can't get qualified people to operate this equipment. They're going to higher paid jobs, and it's putting it behind. It's also pretty complicated, and it's a lot of loopholes in it, so we need to look at it one more time. We need to continuously add to the operations policy and procedure manual, because that's what you go to if somebody asks you a question about something you're not sure of. It should be in there, and you should be able to read it and give them a copy of why we do certain things and how we do it and what's the procedures to do it. Improve productivity of the drainage works. Implement vehicle and equipment tracking system. We're going to use the core stations to actually place monitoring devices in our equipment and our vehicles, so we can track what's happening and where they're going, but basically to gain information on what kind of work is being done by our equipment, our tractors, and try to get a handle on the most, I guess, efficient way of cutting some of these ditches or performing some of the maintenance of these ditches. Because if once we look at it on paper through this tracking system, we can tell what's happening, and we get a better way of moving these equipment around in a more efficient way. Formulate and implement a productivity measurement system. I've been involved with productivity measurement in the industry, and I tell you right now, we need it for public service, for public works, but it's really, really hard to set up a evaluation system, measurement system for public works because of the nature of the type of work we do. It's a service work, and it's not based on profit or anything like this. One of my goals this year is to come up with a measurement system that we can apply and we can track if we are improving throughout drainage works. Formulate a work request one-call system. We need something for both public works and us where a person can call just a simple 3-digit number and get a service, a real person answering that question or sending them to the appropriate place. It needs to be done especially on where you have a system that this can occur on days where we're not at work, weekends, holidays, at night. But this is something else that I tend to look at and see if we can come up with something with the parish government to improve this problem. And the ultimate goal is this: to make East Ascension Drainage Works a model organization with a reputation of professionalism and performance unequaled. It's nothing to say that we can't have the same reputation as Sheriff's Office, School Board, the Assessor's Office, Clerk of Court. We can have that same reputation, but it takes a lot of work. We're well on our way to getting that reputation, and that's one of our ultimate goals in doing all of this, is to gain this respect. And that is the end of my presentation, sir. I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Rue. Do we have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I think we have a speaker that wants to speak on this agenda item, so we might let him speak before we move on any motion.
Thank you,
on
Todd.
this item.
We have one speaker. Mr. Epps, Jeremy Epps.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Jeremy Epps. I live at 37348 Dutchtown Crossing in Gonzales, Louisiana. I'm here tonight to kind of give some of the new guys and some of the old committee members a little history, where it is presently, and where I feel and other concerned citizens feel it should go in the future. In 1984, a half-cent sales tax was passed to build 3 pump stations and clean out major bayous. This work was cost estimated at $40 million with about a 10-year completion. 24 years later, a half-cent sales tax has generated approximately $120 million. And a successful floodgate and pump station for Henderson Bayou has still not been completed. There is a current 10-year plan that includes Henderson Bayou Pump Station and other major drainage projects needed due to the growth that the parish has seen in recent years. Our previous drainage committee has done an outstanding job of finally getting these projects moving in the right direction. They have adopted a new 10-year plan and have already moved forward with bond money needed to complete these projects. We must keep our promise to the taxpayers and stay the course. I feel if we stay the course on the current plan, we can manage this plan and make our focus on much other needed infrastructure growth in the parish at this time. Thank you, members of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Epps. Any other speakers? Any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the 208 goals as presented and attach them to the minutes of tonight's meeting per the Drainage District and General Manager's requirement.
Second.
We have a motion to accept the goals that were presented in the slide projection. And I have a second.
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Lambert. All in favor? Passed by acclamation. Yes, sir, Mr. Rue.
Okay, item number 7, sir. Due to the election of 5 new commissioners and extreme urgency of agreeing to a capital improvement project multi-year plan, it is the recommendation of the general manager of the commission to form a committee to review the present capital improvement plan and recommend to the full commission a direction to proceed. I also recommend the initial meeting is set as soon as possible. This is going back, Mr. Chairman, commissioners, to what I just mentioned about we're kind of unsure of what is the true direction that the commission wants us to go. We actually need the commission to adopt, if either adopt the plan as adopted last year, or if it's your wish to amend it, but we need this done, and we need it done as quick as possible. What we recommend is to form a committee consisting of some commissioners and also the EA Drainage General Manager and the parish president or his designee to review the present capital improvement project plan and make recommendations for the full Drainage Commission and set the initial meeting in January 2008 at whatever time you feel necessary. But we need it, gentlemen, as soon as possible. We have task orders waiting to go out. We have engineering waiting to be done. We have land to be purchased, and it's all waiting for a formal acceptance of the plan. So that's our recommendation, sir.
All right, we have a recommendation from Mr. Rue, the former commission. Yes, sir, Mr. Lambert.
Yeah, Mr. Bill, this previous commission, maybe back in November, maybe have signed a contract and agreed to upgrade the Marvin Borough pumping station to 2 more pumps and this safe house that we're talking about. Now the whole commission agreed to go ahead forward with it, but I don't think this contract has been signed yet.
No, this contract was signed. We have the initial task order ready to go out tomorrow.
Okay. So that is complete.
It's just the first couple of task orders to begin the process of engineering.
Okay. I just want to see where we were on that particular project.
Yes, sir. If legal can, anything that was signed prior is binding. Yes. Even if you change chairmen, you could change every day. It's binding per commission.
That's right.
Just want to make that clear. Yes, sir, Mr. Lambert.
I go ahead and make that motion that we form a committee to look at the capital plans and try to get a meeting scheduled. And Mr. Chairman, I think you can pick that committee, whoever you may want to put on that committee. That's usually what takes place.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Second by Mr. Shake Snyder. Do we have I have a just short question.
Yes, sir.
We can talk about it later. I just don't know how many people you want on that.
No, maybe 3 commissioners and myself and somebody representing the parish president or himself, because I'll be honest with you, I've heard some comments from President Mortnez that he has concerns about certain issues, and we want you to clarify it and everybody get on the same page and pull together on all these projects.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Do we have a vote? Pass.
We just need the names of the commissioners that you would wish to serve on the committee.
Yes, and we'll get that to you after
Okay.
the meeting.
And again, and at the same time, Mr. Chairman, to set a date as early as possible, please.
Yes,
So
sir.
we
and
can
you'd-
announce it and publish
Yes,
it.
and you'd wanted to do that in January.
Yes, sir. In fact, if
Okay.
we could do it this week, I mean, that's how we're behind the gun. We move fast, and we want to make sure that there's no problems in moving forward with all these projects. Or if it needs to be a minute, let's come out with it. Let's do it now and get it over with. But we need to move as quick as possible.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I would like to go ahead and amend it, and you just need the date and the time for the meeting. We'll set it at the first Monday of each month.
Well, the initial meeting, Mr. Lambert, we need it. This is for the initial meeting. We need it set sometime this week, if it's at all possible. If y'all can fit it into your schedule, at least three members of the commission.
We'll go ahead and set it the 18th at what do we have?
Mr. Rue,
Yes,
if we could set that date and that time, and those members after this meeting,
After
would
the
be better
meeting,
for us.
and just send me the information,
Yeah.
so the secretary can publish it.
I don't
and,
have a total
notify
calendar.
the public.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Moving on to item number 8.
Item number 8 has to do with my contract, Mr. Chairman. As part of the contract between the general manager and the Drainage Commission, it actually states salary increases at the end of the first year and continue at the end of each year thereafter while the contract is in force. General manager shall receive a performance bonus up to 8% of his annual salary if predetermined goals as agreed to by the general manager and the Drainage District Board for that year have been achieved. Based on the report presented in item number 6, I request payment of the 8% as contractually obligated. A motion proposed to authorize the performance bonus payment of 8% of the annual salary of the general manager as per the contract between the Drainage District and the general manager.
So moved. Moved by Mr. Shake Snyder.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lohr. Discussion?
Yes, sir.
I have a short question for you.
No problem.
I've read, you'd met with us earlier and
That's right.
furnished us with your contract and the intergovernmental agreement. The goals and expectations, I didn't see where I wasn't sure of exactly what it was. And I seen what your presentation
Right.
was
The goals
today.
and expectations were as of last year. And again, this wasn't done at first because nobody knew where we were going with this stuff. But the goals and expectations became was given to me at different times during the year. It started out with, well, let's get the changeover. We did that rapidly. We did that very efficiently. Then it was to separate of assets and things like this. We did that. Then it came to the point of we need a capital projects plan. We need to get something rolling on getting these the Henderson Bayou done, Law Ridge Levee done, and certain other things. That task was given to me. We accomplished it. What we didn't do last year, because it's brand new, is doing what we're doing now. It's actually having a meeting, presenting our goals, having adopted. These goals became part of the commission's request to me throughout the year, and every request given to me, our East Ascension drainage works accomplished. And so there is a little bit of difference between last year and this year because everything started anew.
So maybe somebody that was on the commission before could kind of enlighten me and maybe some of the newer members. So there was no set determined goals written down anywhere of what we need to accomplish.
No, sir. And again, that's why, because we started in January, we really didn't get a separation. We didn't know we could separate until about May. These things came throughout the year. And again, we accomplished every goal given to us.
Yes.
And that's why we're requesting that we honor the contract agreement.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
And I guess
Mr. Lambert.
basically when we made the switch, we looked at the projects and we had Bill under the gun that, hey, these projects need to get done and move forward at a certain pace, and Bill did that, and that was one of the things. As far as any guidelines or goals laid out on the table, no, I don't believe we had, but the performance of Mr. Rue and his administration was on the line as far as the productivity that they put out, and, if y'all can look around the parish, they have done that.
Thank you. Mr. Shake Snyder.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, and I just want to echo that because we're light years ahead of where we were. The fact of us having the transition, making it work smoothly, the organizational schedule, upgrading the equipment and the workforce, and then going out there now. And if you take a look at drive all areas of the parish, just look at Black Bayou and all of those areas and see what improvements were made in such a short period of time. Something that would have taken us, seemed like it took us 2 or 3 years to do in the past, has really been accelerated now. And I'm very pleased with the pace that we're doing things. We're getting things accomplished now, and in drainage. And so when we talk about getting something done and transferred, it's actually being done. So I'm real pleased with that from that aspect, and it gives us a benchmark now to go from. We knew we were going to be there, but also one of the big things established is we have the 10-year plan now, and we have goals, specific goals that are set up, and now we have something to go by, and it's something that every year the commission will be able to adjust and move forward and see how, where we need to go. And so I think we're moving in the right direction, and everything's set out and all planned out. We're doing major drainage for the people of the parish, and the monies are being spent in that area. So that's exactly what we were tasked to do, and that's what we're doing. And so I'm real pleased with that.
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
Because this is, I wasn't going to say anything, but this money is not actually going. I'm going to have to pay taxes on it, but actually some of the money can be spent on the people that helped me get to the place I'm at, which is part of our managers and our people at East Drainage Works. So it's not going 100% into my pocket. I plan on using it to actually reward some of my employees and maybe having some type of dinner or something for them. So again, get a clarification of this.
That's all I want to do,
that's
sir.
Exactly
is
right.
just get a clarification, because basically,
I can't do this
spending
alone.
somebody else's money right here. You know what I mean?
I can't do it alone, and I tend to.
We appreciate your staff. I just wanted to try to see if I missed, maybe there was some expectations that were actually written down somewhere that were part of the contract.
Yes, sir.
For the bonus. And just clear it up, it's not a percentage raise, cost of living, anything. It's an actual bonus.
That's a performance.
Performance bonus.
And we agreed to it because I think the more we can get salaries based on performance, the more I'm for it. That gets us working toward a common goal and really gets more work done. So I don't mind that at all.
Any other discussion?
Randy.
Yes, sir, Mr. Valentine.
Just to add, the commission struggled through 3 years of essentially no direction. And the reason this was put in Mr. Rue's contract once this commission decided to split was for an incentive that we would get programs started and get projections out to 10 years or as much as we could and follow the plan. And he has done a tremendous job, along with the staff, with solving many problems that has faced this board. As you look out there tonight, there are not a whole lot of people here complaining tonight. This past year, since Mr. Rue's taken over, we're actually getting work done. We're buying equipment. We got trained people doing it. He has some programs in place that will continue to get some trained people, and they'll do a magnificent job. And I commend him for it. And certainly, according to what his contract goes, he deserves it, and his people. And I appreciate all you fellows' work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Any more discussion? We have a motion to approve an 8% bonus for Mr. Rue's salary for the year, calendar year 2007. We have a vote. Passed. Number 9, Mr. Rue.
Yes, sir. Number 9 has to do with the payment of an invoice. We have 12 continuous recording.
Excuse me, sir. Let me straighten myself up. Let me go ahead and read it.
Yes, sir.
Authorization to pay invoice, USGS quarterly payment.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, the Drainage District has 12 continuous recording gauges and 7 flood profile gauges throughout the parish on our major channels. These gauges were installed and maintained by the U.S. Geological Service. The fee for this is paid quarterly. The fee for the period of July through September 2007 is $9,725. Motion is to authorize the payment of invoice 78601 00092 in the amount of $9,725 to USGS for the operation and maintenance of gauges between the period of July and September 2007.
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert,
Discussion.
second by Mr. by Mr. Adrian Thompson. Discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Bill, didn't we actually look at this in-house and seeing about changing it over for in-house?
We're
Or would
looking
that
at
be
it.
feasible?
We are adding more gauges, and we are still evaluating the program right now.
Okay. I know we talked about it last year
And
sometime.
we have somebody actually proficient in doing that kind of work. He is adding gauges and some other metering devices to our canals. And it's very possible that we could take over a full operation. We have to change the equipment out, buy the equipment, but we still evaluate.
We're all looking at that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Any other discussion? Mr. Shake Snyder.
Bill, these are the real-time flow
Now,
gauges that you can get off
off the internet.
If you do have an opportunity and we have a rain event, it's something you can go to get the information for the other benefit of all the commissioners. You can find out immediately all of the streams and the height they are, and it gives you an idea about when to kind of get worried and see what's going on. But you can do that from your home, and it's very good service, and I would only like to see it expanded. I think it's a very good thing for us to do.
Yes, Mr. Bell.
Bill, I guess I'm all for the gauges and everything. I wanted to ask a question. With the Amite Basin, we supply gauges and pay for them in this area. Is this something new, different, or?
This is something, actually, no, we've been doing this for a number of years. This has been contracted out for at least since I've been here.
I mean, we have to go to the Capitol each year and get our $50,000 to maintain the maintenance for the gauges with the USGS, and I was wondering, is this something? Because you can go to the Amite Basin Commission and dial up every gauge also, and
this is on the same site, part of the same site, but it's on our individual channels within our district at different locations. But for us to fund it, we never really asked for funding, and it may be something I can check into. And if with
we
your
were
help,
very close to losing everything last year. The governor, she was balking, and we was able to get it at the last minute, but it was $50,000.
Right.
And
again,
and there again, I'm totally for it. I guess I'm kind of confused.
I think it's something that we can sit and talk about and see how, what kind of funding y'all get for the Amite River Basin.
Yeah.
This is actually part of that, but it's on our, it's on the same site, website, USGS website. But you go into specific sites within the district on our local bayous, and it gives our gauge readings there. But it's the same system.
Okay.
But we don't get any funding for it.
Excuse me.
But I'll be honest, we haven't asked for any funding. This is the way it's been done since before I got here, and it's something I will look into.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Mr. Rue, I just got one question while we're on this subject. Within these points that we can look at, does it include the intake on the Marvin Brook pumping station?
It has 2 gauges on the Marvin Brook pump station. One is one on each side.
Suction.
And it gives the suction side and the discharge side, and it gives the relative differentiation between the two, and that's how we judge when to open the gates and at what point we start pumping and things like this.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion? We have a motion to set the invoice, pay the invoice for the gauges. Passed. Item number 10, status report, the NRCS project, channels, trees removal. Mr. Rue?
Yes, sir, and this is something actually, we were going to make a report on it, but actually requested by Mr. Shakespeare too, to talk a little bit of what's going on with this program or this project, and also talk a little bit of how we might upgrade this to something more permanent by doing it by in-house personnel and things like this. This has been a problem child from the beginning. NRCS came in here after Katrina with a project, and we went into it. They changed it. It's too much to go into right now, but it's been mismanaged from the get-go. Which is, and I'll be public about it. Whenever you get the federal government involved with your business, it usually is something like this, where it gets mismanaged. And that's why the Drainage District for many, many years, because we have the money, we chose to go ahead and do the work because we can get it done in a third of the time and actually cheaper than participation sometimes. But there's been a problem. Where we're at right now, they finally contracted it out to Chemspray. Chemspray went in, did as per instructed by NRCS to clean the trees out of Manchac, out of Conway Bayou, Panama Bayou. They forgot Frog Bayou, which is part of the contract. They're going back tomorrow and reassess Frog Bayou to see what they can do. It was their mistake. They left it out. Again, it's totally mismanaged. But what we're requesting to do, they removed mainly the trees that were what they figured were caused by Katrina. We have a lot more debris, a lot more problems with these bayous. And what we're proposing to do, after they complete their project, we put it into our capital improvement plan, multi-year plan, and it's already in there, portions of this work, to actually go through two of the canals, which is Conway and Panama, and do a major clean, de-snagging, and not only inside the waterway, but also along the bank line on things that potentially can fall within the next 6 months to the year. After this is done, we need to contract that out. We're going to get figures on doing this. After that, we'll get together and either do it in-house or contract at least once a year to do maintenance of both these bayous by going through it and getting things out that fail throughout that year, or maybe semi-annually through the year, checking it and go in there and do routine maintenance of it. We need to get somebody in there to really do the job quick, so that's why we're proposing contracting now as part of our capital project plan, and then formulate a plan to maintain it with, like I said, either in-house or a semi-annual contract after that point. So that's what I have, and I'm sure Mr. Shakespeare has some comments.
Yes, Mr. Shakespeare.
Yes, I do. Bill, I appreciate the effort to try to go through this. To give a little bit background, about 2.5 years ago, this commission voted to clean out the Panama and Conway. If you hadn't had an opportunity to go, especially the Conway Canal, is just totally, it's impassable. The amount of extremely large trees that have gone across it has made it where it's silted up. There's about 4 or 5 feet of silt that is just completely silted in the channel, and it doesn't drain. With the amount of people that are moving into the area, it's becoming a serious drainage issue for a lot of people. And a lot of people don't realize that the Conway affects the drainage all the way up where Cabela's is now, and all of the new construction across the interstate and all the way through the areas around Southwood and Gonzales, and obviously the Panama with Pelican Point and all of that area. They came in and did a very limited scope. I think they had identified, I talked to Mr. Smiley, they identified a little over 100 objects and pulled them out, and that's all they allowed Chemspray to do. That's just a very tip of the iceberg. We passed 100 objects that when we went out there with a boat a couple of times. We probably passed 100 objects every 100 yards. There was no work being done excuse me, above about 100 yards past the college in Sorrento. Nothing was touched beyond that. So all of that area that was just silted in and covered with fallen trees is still like it was. And the Panama has some serious issues, and they also did not take out anything that was underwater. So all of the trees that was covered with water and blocking the flow has not been addressed. I think this is an emergency issue. I think it's very, very important. We've been extremely lucky in the past couple of years that we haven't had a large rain event in that area. And I want to put on the next agenda and request that administratively we do contract requirements for a project to properly clean Panama and Conway because of the serious nature of that potential flooding in that area. This is something we're almost 3 years behind right now that we voted to do 3 years ago. And it's something that we need to do, and I'd like by the next meeting to have a proposal with contract requirements for us to vote on at the next meeting to clean this out. So especially now, another thing that's added to it, anticipating this to be cleaned by the NRCS, we've cleaned Ball Bayou, and that brings some more water down quicker. And we're very much concerned about the people in Southwood Subdivision, the people off of Cluot Road and all that area, that it comes out too fast and there's no place to go right now. So, and Hodgson Road. And so I would like to see this as quickly as possible and put on the next agenda, and I'd make that in the form of a motion.
Second. Got a comment and discussion on it. Right. Yep. I was one of the ones that rode through it with the boat, that you had to jump stumps to get through it. And I want to let everybody know that we have a pumping system on this, Conway Canal that is, pumps kind of cleans Sorrento out when, we have some flooding. So it's definitely needed. There's a lot of curves that's silted in. You can't hardly get through them with the boats. They bottom out. So it's definitely needed in that area big time.
And Mr. Chairman, if I could, it is we have money in 2008 budget to do some work on Panama Conway, and we also have some money budgeted in 2009. And it's very easy to, because of the financial model that we have, it wouldn't hurt at all to pull the money from 2009 into 2008 and do a fairly substantial project of Panama and Conway. So it is budget. We do have the money to be able to do it. So I just want to make that comment, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rue. Thank you, Mr. Lambert. Any other discussion? We have a motion on the floor. Correct me, Mr. Shakespeare, if I get it wrong. We have a motion on the floor to have Mr. Rue bring forward to the next meeting contract requirements and a suggested budget.
Yes, sir.
For that work, cleaning of Conway and Panama.
We will have that.
Any more discussion on it? We have a vote. Motion passed. All right. Item number 11, policy and procedure, memo number 8, policy for granting special holiday pay. Mr. Rue?
Yes, sir. We have run into this several times just recently, where the Parish administration has given time off to their employees, i.e. holiday pay after certain parish functions that wasn't officially granted by the commission or the council, which is no problem. But as general manager of the commission, I do not have the authority to grant any of this. And the only ones that can grant this is you, the commissioners, in a formal meeting, public hearing, voting on it and granting holiday pay. We need a policy. I'm looking for a policy from the commission. How you want to, again, if you want to give me the authority with a personal contact from each one of the commissioners to do something like this, or if you say absolutely not, it has to be a public hearing. Again, either way you want to go with it, I'm okay. I just need clarification and official policy of how you want me to act in these circumstances.
Any discussion on? Yes, sir, Mr. Lambert.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Bill on this, and I think we should go ahead and give him the authorization, and not only for holiday pay. We had incidents the other day that took place that it came up at the last minute. DPW agreed to let his employees take off for the inaugural celebration, but it was already sent with the email to everybody that they could only have 2 hours off. At the last minute, they were able to get the whole day off, and Bill had already made a statement that, he was going to let his people take off 2 hours. So in that case, he would have had the authority. We would have had to meet as a whole commission to make that change, and we didn't have time to do so.
But what
I just want to let the people know, and the employees know that, it was a last-minute move that really, it was out of our hands because it was too late. And if Bill had the authority to do so at that point, he could have.
I would recommend that I would not make any decision until I contact at least the majority members of the commission to get your verbal, at least your verbal or email okay to proceed, and then we'll take care of the situation later. But a lot of times I can only just maybe give you a phone call and say, are you okay with this? And if that is our policy, we'll write it up as a policy, and then I'm protected.
So I ask that as a motion.
Second.
That we give Bill the authority on a special occasion, if needed, call the majority, the commissioners, by phone to get approval.
We have a motion, a second. Mr. Shakespeare, you want to amend? You want to amend? Or
Well, I think we should discuss amending it. We could get the chairman and vice chairman's approval, and that would be an easy thing to do. And that way it would make things go quicker, and I think that would be a lot simpler.
Less phone calls.
Mr. Valentine.
Chairman Cluad, the problem you run into is we don't want our manager taking votes over the phone. So the best thing to do is to give him the authority, if he can check it with the chairman and or the vice chairman, just for his clarification. And then at the next meeting, if there's a problem, it'll be brought up. But you need to give Mr. Rue the full authority to do that.
Yes, I agree with that.
I'll write up the policy, Mr. Chairman, and send it out and see if you agree with it, the written policy that will be formally accepted at the next meeting.
What I'll do, Ms. Cluad, is I'll make a substitute motion that Mr. Rue bring the formal policy to us at the next meeting and have it on the agenda, and we'll discuss it at that time.
Yes, sir. And I just want a little discussion on that. And we hope that in the future, we're going to all jointly work together within the Parish of Ascension, and that we shouldn't have a communication problem, because, in all honesty, all of our workers believe they work for the Parish of Ascension at some point. And,
I second that substitute motion.
So we have a substitute motion.
He bring us.
Correct me, George, if I'm wrong. I can leave all the rest
the
of it
policy and procedure in writing.
That Mr. Rue present us with a policy in writing the next meeting for our approval.
Right.
Do we have a second on the substitute? Mr. Todd Lambert, second.
Just one more discussion about it. It's not a cooperation. It's not a communication. It's a legal point.
Yes.
He legally cannot do that. He probably wanted to do it, but he legally can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, it was brought up as a communication problem, sir. All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Any more discussion? Motion passed.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Bell.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lohr. Any opposition? Thank y'all.